This is the third part of the series when I check how different crops looks on 10 different focal lengths. This time it's the medium shot, so waist up. Let's check together which lens produces the most pleasing look for the medium shot or which is the most useful for the plant scenario. Medium shot is actually my favorite crop for the outdoor interviews. It's commonly used in movies. It is also useful for the presentation videos or even YouTube solo talking videos, both indoors and outdoors. Sure, it's good to have a camera B with a different crop, but if I have to choose one, I guess in the most cases I will go with the medium shot. This room is 3 by 3 meters, so 10 by 10 feet. That's why I'm forced to choose portrait crop instead of the medium. It's quite hard to get a medium shot in such a small room. For the movies, you need all the shots to have a so-called coverage, but if you are not shooting a movie, then I'd say it's the go-to crop. As in previous parts, I'm 4 meters away from the background and I'm standing in the same place for every shot. This time I have tried to include the hedge on my left to show the focus fall-off. Of course, the camera moves up and down, back and forth to get a proper framing. In theory, it's a quite the demanding scenario to get the separation from the background, since the camera is farther away from me than myself from the background, at least for 70 millimeters and up. But again, at the same f-stop, the focus plane got the same depth. It is 21 centimeters, around 8 inches at f2.8 for this particular medium shot at each focal length. Looking at the all shots together, it seems that the subject separation starts at 35 millimeters, but if you look at each full screen, it seems there is enough separation on each of the shots at f2.8. Although the higher the focal length, the stronger the illusion that there is actually more. Of course, subject separation is not necessary because you might also want to show the surroundings. Then you have to stop the lens down. And the background itself, its amount which is shown changes dramatically from the shot to shot. It's like almost half of it disappears when you switch the lens to the longer one. On the wider lenses, so 12, 18 and 24, it's really hard to guess where to look as a talent. To be on the rule of thirds, I've been totally offside and was not sure if I should look forward or at the lens, which was like 1 meter to the left. And I feel really distorted at 12, a bit less at 18 millimeters, especially my face. And on 24, it's hard to say I'm still distorted or not. But again, the longer the focal length, the slimmer you look. Also for me, it's a bit weird that my hands are cut off when I keep them down. So maybe cropping a bit higher will be more natural looking, or maybe American shot, also known as cowboy shot, might be better when keeping hands down, or maybe I just have to move my hands and use them for acting. At 12 millimeters, there is an illusion the separation is on the verge of being enough, but it is actually okay. Also, 12 millimeters might be very useful because in this case I am 90 centimeters from the sensor, around 3 feet. So it is less than 5 meters from the background in this crop. But you can see like 8 meters wide of that background. So if you are in the tight space, such a wide lens might be very helpful. Also plenty of height is shown, lows of the sky. 18 millimeters is like 2 times less of the background shown. At f3 separation is good, I'm actually surprised, and I do not find myself distorted too much when it is the only shot on the screen. I'm again 90 centimeters, 3 feet from the sensor, but it's probably due to a bit different framing. 12 millimeters has been wider and the camera should be closer than, probably around 80. It is actually very hard to get the proper framing on the wide lenses when shooting alone, because the smallest move of the camera changes framing dramatically. 24 at f2 and f2.8 the separation is okay. Again, the amount of the background shown is limited compared to the previous shot. There is still sky in the shot and I'm 1.1 meters from the sensor, which is almost 4 feet. 35 millimeters, no sky in the shot already, and the hedge behind me is 3 meters tall. Both 1.8 and f2.8 separate me greatly from the background, and again I prefer f2.8 here because of the busy bokeh at f1.8. but this is actually lens specific, not the focal length specific. 1.7 meters from the sensor, which is 5 feet 7 inches. Actually, wow at 55 millimeters. Looks like I'm on a green screen at f2.8 in a good way. The 3D pop is ridiculous. It seems like f2.8 is isolating me better, but it might be because of the different lighting. Clouds came while I was shooting at f2.8 and I pop out better to the better exposure versus the background. But my guess is that at f2.8 edges of my shirt are sharper because I'm fully in focus, and that's why it seems I got more pop from the background, which is actually out of focus. 2.9 meters, 9 feet 6 inches from the sensor. 70 millimeters also look great. Probably better than some other shots because of softer light and background compression. I really look like I'm projected there. 4.1 meters from the sensor, which is 13 feet 5 inches. 85 millimeters on all three shots there is a separation, but 1.4 presents some chromatic aberrations on the edges of my t-shirt. Check the shoulders. And at 1.4 and 1.8, small elements of the beer on my t-shirt are not in focus because the focus plane in front of my eye is just 5 centimeters and 7 centimeters behind, which is not enough to have my whole figure in focus. So again, I opt for f2.8 for the medium shot here, and I'm 4.3 meters from the sensor, which is 14 feet and 1 inch in this case. 100 millimeters also look very good. It's a different day and a bit different lighting. For sure my t-shirt is darker, but even though I really like the separation. 70 to 200 seems to be very versatile for the medium shot, although if you want to include a lot of background / environment, it's not the best choice. 5.6 meters from the sensor, which is 18 feet 4 inches. 135 millimeters, same story as for 85. f1.8 is too shallow. The separation is better at f2.8 because I'm fully in focus, so I'm sharp on the edges. That's why it seems to be more separated from the out of focus background. Again, beer elements are much sharper at f2.8, and I'm 6.7 meters from the sensor, which is 23 feet. 200 millimeters, for some reason 3D pop here is very pronounced, even though framing is a bit too loose compared to other shots. I'm 12 millimeters from the sensor, which is 3 times farther away than the background from myself. It is crazy far. Again, you can judge yourself and choose the focal length you like the most or is the best for the scenario you plan to shoot. Wider lenses if you want more of the surroundings background in the frame, longer if you want to eliminate the background for some reason. Again, I opt for f2.8 for every focal length because to get your talent fully in the focus plane, you need at least this aperture. You can further regulate the amount of background blur moving away and towards the background. I guess I will do this in the next series of videos about framing. In case of the medium shot, not every focal length might be even possible to use. You won't always have like 7 or 12 meters in front of the subject to place the camera there. For example, during the street interview. I hope these examples are helpful. They are definitely for me. If you don't want to miss the last part of the series, full body shot, subscribe. If you find this useful, please give me a like and cheers, mate!